Pray the vultures get to you first, the chief sneered, spitting the words like buckshot across the firelit circle. The prisoner didn't flinch. His wrists were raw from the rawhide, his face bruised black under the left eye, but his gaze stayed level on the war chief's painted features. Around them, 30 Comanche warriors sat their ponies in a loose ring of silence, lances upright, moonlight sliding along the steel. Somewhere in the dark beyond the fire, a woman sobbed once and was hushed. The chief, his name was Wild Horse, though the whites called him something else on their wanted posters, leaned forward on his buffalo runner saddle. You rode with the rangers who burned my winter camp. You killed my little brother. I watched him burn from the ridge. Tonight the women will take your eyelids. Tomorrow the ants will take the rest. The prisoner's lips moved. Not a plea. A smile, thin as a knife edge. Wild Horse's eyes narrowed. You have something to say before the knives come out, White Eyes? The prisoner lifted his head. His voice was low, almost conversational, the accent pure East Texas drawl. Just wondering which one of you is fastest with a skinning knife. Ripple of anger passed through the circle. One young brave started to urge his pony forward, but Wild Horse lifted a hand. The pony stopped as if it had hit a wall. Big words for a man about to lose his tongue, the chief said. The prisoner shrugged, the motion grinding rawhide into his wrists. I always eat first. The words hung in the way smoke hangs after. A rifle shot. Wild Horse stared. Somewhere in the night, a coyote yipped and was answered by another. The chief's face hardened. Tie him to the stake, he ordered in Comanche. We start with the soles of his feet. 2 warriors dismounted, grabbed the prisoner by the arms, and dragged him toward the ironwood post driven into the center of the camp. The prisoner didn't struggle. He walked like a man going to collect a bet he already knew he'd won. That was when the screaming started. Not from the prisoner. From the edge of camp, a sentry went down with an arrow through the throat before he could finish his cry. Another followed, toppling from his pony like a sack of meal. Then the night exploded. Rifles, pistols, the deeper boom of a shotgun. Muzzle, flashes stitched orange holes in the dark. Comanche horses reared, warriors spun, lances leveled at shadows that were already among them. The prisoner dropped flat as the rawhide around his wrists parted with a soft pop. He'd worried it against. A spur rowel for hours, and rolled under the belly of the nearest pony. A hand the size of a ham clamped his shoulder and hauled him upright. Evening, Captain, the prisoner said. The man holding him was black-bearded, hawk-nosed, wearing a dusty frock coat and a grin sharp enough to shave with. In his other hand was a Navy Colt still smoking. Took you long enough, Esau, the prisoner said. Esau Crow spat to one side. Had to wait till they got theatrical. You know how Comanches love a good speech. He shoved a spare pistol into the prisoner's hand. 14 rounds left. Try not to shoot me. Around them the camp had become a churning storm of hooves and gun smoke. Half the Comanche ponies had bolted. The rest were being ridden straight into the dark by warriors trying to flank the attackers. The attackers, though, there were only 6 of them, moved like wolves who'd done this before. One, a slim figure in a wide sombrero, vaulted from a dead warrior's saddle to another pony already running, firing a Winchester one-handed. Another, built like a barn door with a red cavalry kepi perched on his blond skull, laughed out loud while he reloaded a Henry rifle without looking. The prisoner, his name was Cole Raintree, put his back to Esau's and started shooting. He shot, took a brave through the shoulder, and dumped him screaming. Another clipped Wild Horse's pony. The chief hit the ground running, war club raised, eyes promising murder. Raintree met him halfway. They crashed together like 2 storms. The war club whistled past Raintree's ear, his pistol barrel cracked against Wild Horse's temple. The chief staggered, but didn't fall. He roared something in Comanche and drove forward, knife flashing. Raintree let the empty pistol drop, caught the knife wrist, and head-butted the chief so hard he felt teeth break. They went down in a tangle. Somewhere a woman was screaming Wild Horse's name. Raintree came up on top, knife now in his own hand, point hovering an inch from the chief's throat. Still planning on those ants? He asked. Wild Horse spat blood. You will not leave this place alive, Witchman. Already did once, Raintree said, pressing until a bead of blood appeared. Tell your people to stand down. Wild Horse laughed, a wet, ragged sound. They will fight until the grass grows red. Then they'll die for nothing. A shadow fell across them both. Esau stood there, shotgun leveled at Wild Horse's head. Captain Esau Crow, Texas Rangers, he said formally. You're under arrest for murder, horse theft, and general disagreeability. Wild Horse's eyes burned. You will never hold me. Esau thumbed the hammer back. Wasn't planning on holding you long. Raintree stood, wiping the knife on his thigh. We're not here for him. Esau glanced sideways. Then why in hell are we here, Cole? Raintree pointed with the captured knife toward the big lodge at the far end of camp, the one with the buffalo skulls mounted on poles. Because the man who paid Wild Horse to burn your winter camp is in there, drunk on trade whiskey and waiting for the all clear. Esau's grin returned, wider than before. Well, shit, why didn't you say so? They left Wild Horse trussed with his own rawhide and moved through the camp like a hot wind. The remaining Comanches had pulled back to the lodges, firing from cover. One of Esau's men, Ramirez, the one with the sombrero, was bleeding from the thigh but still riding. Still shooting, the big blonde, a Norwegian they called Thorvald, had acquired a Comanche lance and was using it the butt end to discourage anyone from getting close. They reached the big lodge. Esau kicked the hide door aside and stepped in, shotgun ready. Inside, firelight danced over piles of stolen trade goods, bolts of calico, sacks of coffee, crates stamped U.S. Army. In the center, on a pile of robes, sat a white man in a frock coat far too fine for the Llano. His face was soft, flushed with whiskey, and his eyes were wide with animal panic. "Hello, Mr. Hargrove," Raintree said. Hargrove scrabbled backward, knocking over a tin cup that spilled whiskey across the robes. You're dead, they said. They lied, Raintree said. He squatted, resting elbows on knees, the knife still in his hand. You paid Wild Horse $500 in gold to raid ranger camps. You told him which ones would be light on men. You wanted the land grants the state gave us for service. Figured if we were all dead or run off, you could claim abandonment. Hargrove's mouth worked soundlessly. Esau leaned in the doorway, reloading the shotgun with lazy competence. Thing is, Mr. Hargrove, the Rangers take a dim view of folks. Hiring Indians to do their killing makes the paperwork complicated. I can pay, Hargrove squeaked. 10,000, 20, name your price. Raintree studied him the way a man studies a cockroach before stepping on it. Already got paid, he said, in advance. He stood. Esau, you want to read him his rights, or should I just shoot him? Rights? Hargrove whimpered. Esau shrugged. Frontier justice, Cole. You know the rule. Raintree nodded. He looked down at Hargrove one last time. Pray the vultures get to you first, he said softly. The knife went in under the ribs, upward, precise. Hargrove gasped once, eyes bulging, then folded like a bad hand of cards. Outside, the gunfire had stopped. The camp was quiet except for the low moaning of wounded and the crackle of burning lodges. Someone had put a torch to the grass, and the wind was doing the rest. Esau stepped out, wiping his hands on a bandana. Wild Horse, alive, Raintree said. For now, let the army sort him out. We got what we came for. Thorvald limped up, leading 3 horses. Ramirez needs a dock. We riding. Raintree swung into the saddle. The camp burned behind them, a blooming orange flower against the stars. Somewhere in the smoke, Wild Horse was shouting curses that would follow them all the way to the Reddit River. They rode east, 6 shadows becoming 5 when Ramirez finally slipped from the saddle an hour before dawn. They buried him under a lone mesquite, with his sombrero over his face and his Winchester across his chest. At sunup, they crossed into Texas, ragged, bloody, and silent. Esau finally spoke. You ever think we're on the wrong side of this, Cole? Raintree? Didn't answer for a long mile, then, every damn day. But we keep riding. Yeah, Raintree said, we keep riding. Behind them, the vultures were already circling over what was left of Wild Horse's camp. Ahead, the Llano stretched empty and endless, waiting for the next promise, the next betrayal, the next man who thought he could buy the wind. Raintree touched spurs to his horse, and didn't look back. He always ate first.